Hey YouTube, Dawson Ryder here with a bit of a discussion video on kind of a hot topic. I feel like I should call this video Dawson's Hot Take, but this is why I want us to stop doing Sentai adaptations / using Sentai footage. And this is based around all the recent rumors about the future of the Power Rangers franchise. About like over a year ago, there was rumors about that we were going to cut off our relationship with Toei, and after Dino Fury going forward for Hasbro's new universe, we would be only creating new stuff. And then recently, there's been more rumors that we are going to be delaying that and possibly continuing Sentai adaptations at least for a little while. And all the while, I've been saying to you guys that I personally would prefer it if we did cut ties with Sentai, which is a hot take, and I want to explain why I think that's best. Before I get started though, I just want to remind you to like and subscribe. And ring that bell. Also, I wanted to remind you that this is just my opinion. I'm not trying to tell you this is the right way to think. I want to say this because I feel like whenever I bring this up, people always are trying to tell me that I'm not thinking incorrectly about my own opinion and that their way is the right way. I think everyone's going to have different tastes, different preferences. None of them are right or wrong. It's just your preference, and this is just my preference of what I want to see. I'm not saying this is the way or what they should do because, as you guys know, I don't think franchises should ever listen to fans. I will say, too, you know, a lot of people like to see the creativity that goes into how they're going to adapt a Sentai, which I find is funny because I feel more often than not people just end up complaining that they don't just carbon copy the Sentai, and then when they do, they complain they did that. But I do enjoy a good adaptation. I do like to see what are they going to do with these suits. I do find that fascinating, and I do like it, but I'm also okay with getting rid of that because as we've gone on longer into the franchise, especially in this last decade, for me, I feel it's hurting the franchise more than helping it. I feel it holds us back, and I think that we need to break free of that. I think there's also ways we can continue it while breaking free, which I'll mention in a minute. But for me, my main reason is I'm tired of Sentai adaptions in regards to PR causing closed-minded thinking from both the fans and the people making the shows. I get so tired of hearing or seeing comments about we can't do this and we can't do that because of the footage, or we shouldn't do this and we shouldn't do that because we have to stay true to the source material. And I feel like if we get rid of Sentai, we don't have to have any of those conversations. We don't have to have people being like, oh my god, Gokaiger's ruined forever because of Super Megaforce, and it's Gokaiger's somehow now erased because Super Megaforce exists, and my happy memories of watching Gokaiger are now somehow erased because it exists. We don't have to deal with that. And we don't have to deal with someone saying, oh, it would be really cool if they had this scene, and then people would say, well, they can't do that because it didn't happen in the Sentai, or it'd be really cool to have a purple Dino Fury Ranger. Well, they can't do that because they didn't do it in the Sentai. No. You can do whatever you want. And like I said, there is ways we could do that while continuing doing Sentai. I wouldn't be mad at all if we continued doing adaptions, so long as that wasn't what shackled us in. If you want to have a Rainbow Ranger that didn't exist in the main series, go for it. If you want to have a new mecha formation that didn't exist, go for it. If you need a scene of the Pink and Blue Rangers having an all-out battle on the top of a roof, but you don't have that in Sentai, go for it. And to be fair, they've been doing a lot of original footage lately, but I don't think that they should let the Sentai footage dictate what they do at all. There's ways to do it while still doing the Sentai, because then you have the designs and you have footage there to save money. You have Sentai footage that happens to work for your scenario, but you can still do Sentai adaptions without letting it close you in. However, I personally would just prefer to eliminate that idea altogether, and then you're just free. You can do whatever you want. You can have any scenarios you want, any designs you want. There's nothing to hold you back to say you can do this, you can't do that because of what the Sentai did. You know, there's no purism going on. I'm sure it would still exist, but not in that form. I think it would just break us free of the chains of Sentai, which I feel are holding us down. And you know, as niche and interesting of a format as it is, I feel it's just such a weird relic and it's outdated for me, and I think we need to move beyond it. Now, another thing people will always bring up, of course, which is an undisputed 100% fact, if they made their own show, it would cost more money. That is a fact. That is a truth fact. I'm not denying that. However, literally every other show on the known earth has to film their own show, and they have to make their own props and do their own designs. It's not unreasonable to ask them to do what literally everyone else has to do. That's my thing. And yeah, it would cost more money, and it makes sense to save money, and I don't know their financial situation or their way of thinking about this, and we all know Saban was kind of known for being cheap, I guess, and especially when they first started, because they weren't like, I am Saban when they started, they were just Saban. So it made sense for them to do this when they first started out. But Hasbro isn't a mom-and-pop operation trying to make a YouTube fan film. In my opinion, Hasbro has more resources to actually make their own show and not rely on someone else's work. And I feel if they pour the right money into it, and the right resources and the right strength, it can pay off. You know, I don't think it's that unreasonable or out of the box idea to ask them to film their own show, because guess what? Everyone else is doing it, and it makes more sense to me. People get worried too that, of course, that we would only do MMPR and stuff like that, or that the designs wouldn't be as good as Toei's. I mean, I don't know. I don't think Toei's the end-all be-all for designing superhero suits. I don't even think about them when I think about my favorite superhero suits personally. I don't think that they're the only people that can design good suits. I think we got plenty of talent, could make some really awesome suits for us. And you know, everyone's gonna have different tastes. People are worried about it taking away from the toku aesthetic they like. And I get that, but at the same time, I feel there's a lot of gatekeeping going on with that, with both stopping doing Sentai and the idea of creating more Americanized suits. It's like I want it to stay this niche little thing that only this tiny fandom can have ever, and I don't understand that. I want it to become more broadly appealing because I want to see the fandom expand. We need fresh new ideas. We need fresh new takes. We need, and it doesn't mean we're going to lose what we like about it forever, but we shouldn't want to just keep it as this tiny little niche thing forever. And I don't think it's ever going to be in the same league to even be mentioned in the same sentence as Marvel. It's just never going to be like that. I'm not saying that it's going to be that big, but I'm saying you got to broaden your horizons a little bit. And I think that people wanting to keep this toku format and these toku suit designs is kind of gatekeeping it a little bit. And I think that's another form of closed-minded thinking I think it's creating. And I think getting rid of Sentai and all of that will expand the appeal, expand the creativity. I just see it as this big breaking of the chains. And sometimes, you know, it's nice to get new takes on things. There's been franchises and characters that I have not really been a fan of, and then suddenly there was a new take that appealed to me more, it appealed to my aesthetics more, and it made me a fan of that character or that show. And then it allowed me to go back and visit the other things and appreciate them. And sometimes people need a window into a franchise that's more appealing to them, and then it will allow them to appreciate the others. But if you just keep it appealing to the niche fandom, then you're never gonna grow. Personally, that's why I want to see it. I think it would be great if they could find a way to continue it without being shackled to anything and don't use the Sentai footage as your end-all be-all. But I just want to see us break free because I think it's going to break us free creatively, and I think it's going to end a lot of the closed-minded thinking that we have both from the fans and the creatives. You know, we've already seen some recent stuff about people saying, well, this will never be Power Rangers because this reason, that reason, that reason. It's like, that's already closed-minded thinking. Like, we can't do Lupin Rangers because they can't be thieves. Then don't make them thieves. You know, just... yeah, their suits are based off of thieves, but in my opinion, you can still look at the suits and make them into something else. You know, that's already closed-minded thinking right there. Just don't use the footage that makes them look like thieves. Simple as that, you know, just, there's so much closed-minded thinking around the adaptation process that I don't even want to have to deal with it anymore. I think that we should just break free of that. I want to know what you guys think respectfully in the comments about your thoughts on us breaking free from Sentai. Do you want to see us completely break free, no more Sentai at all? Do you want us to never break free and hold tight for dear life and just keep it really niche and closed? Or do you want to see maybe a balance where we keep the Japanese adaptations around, but we also expand to outside stuff? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you get notifications for my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.